Hey guys, welcome back to Dipswitch Demos. My name is Jackson and today we are checking out the Caroline Guitar Company Somersault Lo-Fi Modulator. Now the truth is, guys, I have a massive love-hate relationship with modulation. All types of modulation. I'm always switching between different types, chorus, vibrato, flanger, phaser, anything, and I'm always switching between different pedals. I can never quite settle on one pedal or one type of modulation. And sometimes I refuse to use modulation at all. I'm like, no, that's rubbish, it sounds cheesy. That's not me. So I'm always on the hunt for the perfect one for me, and I'm always trying to expand my horizon when it comes to modulation pedals. So the Somersault came up on my reverb feed actually for a pretty reasonable price, and I thought, let's go for it. I've heard of Caroline, I know they make good stuff. Let's try out this Somersault modulation pedal. So my understanding of the Somersault is that it's a half digital, half analog chorus pedal, essentially. The digital part controls the delay on the wet signal, and the analog part pretty much does everything else. But what initially drew me to this pedal in particular was this word here, or two words I guess, 4 letters, lo-fi. That really interests me because I guess what I'm used to when it comes to chorus is super pristine, hi-fi, 80s chorus type tones, and having a chorus that's lo-fi is something new, something maybe I haven't tried before, and maybe something that I will love. And this pedal can absolutely do those lo-fi, underwater, vinyl, warbly tones that maybe I was looking for. Better than anything else I've tried in that sort of category. I think those sort of lo-fi tones are helped along by this little switch here, which is my favourite switch or control on the whole pedal, and it's basically a low pass filter or a high cut on the wet signal. Say you're running this pedal 50-50 wet dry, that switch just basically tames up that vibrato signal and makes it a lot darker and maybe a little less prominent. But when you run this pedal 100% wet, you have that overall darker, warmer sound, and it is so lo-fi. It's so cool and so reminiscent for me of soundtracks from like the BioShock video games, if you know what I'm saying. That's what it always reminds me of when I think of those tones. To be fair to the Somersault, it can still do those pristine 80s chorus tones, but for me, the lo-fi tones are where it's at. Let's quickly talk about the controls. Here in the top left we have our wet dry mix. This is how we go from a chorus tone to a fully vibrato tone if you want to 100% wet. The offset mode is probably the most interesting control on the whole pedal, and this essentially changes the delay time for the wet signal. We'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. And then the two knobs here are speed and depth, self-explanatory. In the middle, along with that dark lo-fi switch, we also have a wave shape switch as well, switching between a triangle wave and a square wave for weirder tones. Bypass foot switch and a Havoc foot switch, which I think is on a lot of Caroline's pedals. Essentially on this pedal it maxes out the rates, giving you almost a faux rotary sound on a momentary switch, which is really cool. So let's talk a little bit about this offset switch, which is probably where, not where I've had the hardest time with this pedal, but it's taken me a minute to sort of understand and get used to it. Above maybe about 9 o'clock, there is a quite audible and noticeable delay between your dry signal and the wet signal. Increasing it basically increases the intensity of the chorusing effect, and it gets weirder and weirder as you increase that knob. Below 9 o'clock, say, that delay is still there, but it's not so audible. You just feel it under the fingers, and it's actually quite a weird sensation having that delay there. In the past, I've really struggled with chorus pedals and modulation pedals that embrace that delayed wet signal effect, but there's something about the way the Somersault executes it that is more easy to get along with, that's not too gimmicky and doesn't sound too cheesy. Admittedly, I would prefer still if you could turn that delay off, or really minimize it to almost unnoticeable, but it is what it is, and it's no doubt that it adds to the character of the overall sound and the pedal. So has the Somersault solved all of my modulation needs and questions? No, arguably no pedal ever will though. Is it one of my favourite chorus pedals now, and am I glad that I picked it up? Absolutely yes, and it has taught me more about a different method of chorus, or a different approach to chorus that I've really enjoyed getting to know. And for weirder, darker, more lo-fi, I know I've said lo-fi a lot in this video, tones, this is 100% now my go-to. Thanks guys for checking out the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and maybe check out some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys!